Hi, and welcome back to my channel. Today, you're joining me on board Balmoral, which is one of the cruise ships in the Fred Olsen Cruise Line's fleet. And in this video, I'm going to be taking you on a full detailed room tour of this cabin that we're in right now, up on deck number 8 of the ship. I've shown you lots of different cabins already on board Balmoral on my YouTube channel. This one is different to any of the others that I've shown you up until now. If you enjoy this video today, and if you find it useful, then I would really appreciate it if you would think about supporting my channel by clicking both the thumbs up and the subscribe buttons. Anyway, join me out in the corridor and let's take a walk around this cabin up on deck 8 of the ship. The specific cabin that I'm going to be showing you around today is number 8035. To help you get your bearings, what you can see at the end of the corridor here is the forward stairwell. In other words, you'll find this cabin, 8035, towards the front of the ship. This cabin is a superior ocean view B-grade cabin, and it comes with a restricted or an obstructed view. I always think it is really important that if you're looking at booking a restricted view cabin, you understand exactly how restricted your view is, in order to ensure you're not going to be disappointed. I'll show you the view from this cabin a little later in this video. You'll see that you've got the beds directly in front of your large picture window. Over here, you've got your desk, your vanity unit. You've then got all of the storage and also the cabin bathroom, all of which I'm going to show you throughout this video. Let's start over on this side of the room. You'll find a large piece of art on the left-hand wall, and you've then got your beds set up in a twin formation. Directly between the beds is where you'll find one of the features that I really do like on board Balmoral and in a lot of the cabins. You've got your bedside storage, but this is very different to bedside storage I've seen on any other ship for one main reason. Directly underneath is where you can control things like the lamp on top of the unit. You can also control the ceiling lights there. You can also program various music channels to then play into both the cabin itself and also the bathroom. It's a real nod to the ship's past, and I really do love the fact that Fred Olsen Cruise Lines have kept this piece of furniture in the cabin. You've got 3 drawers, which are all empty directly underneath, so plenty of storage here. And on top, you've got your cabin telephone. You can use that phone to call all around the ship, including other cabins, totally free of charge. You also can use that phone to call ashore. But, as I always say in all of my cabin tours, that's really expensive to do so I never would recommend using that as your primary contact method with home. Over here, at the end of one of the beds, you've got a small armchair. And if we now turn the camera to look at the other side of the room, you'll see that that armchair faces a small table. You could use that small table to then do things like in-cabin dining. You could order room service, you could use the chair under the desk as your second chair, and it means that you've got somewhere else to sit and eat rather than the desk facing the mirror. For example, you've got your television on a bracket, so you can turn that around, and then you've got what is a relatively large desk vanity unit with a huge mirror that goes all the way up to the roof. On top of that desk, you're going to find all of your literature when you board the ship. You'll also find things like paper tissues and all of your passenger information. In terms of plug points, in this cabin, I was able to locate both European and US plugs, and there's also this outlet over here. If we now look at the storage that's underneath this desk, on this side, you've got some drawers. So you've got 4 drawers that I'll show you in now. And then over on the other side, you've got your refrigerator. You may have noticed there that in the second top drawer, you've got your hairdryer, and in the top drawer, there's a Bible. Over here, as I say, you've got your refrigerator. This should be empty at the point of you boarding the ship, which makes it perfect for storing anything that you might bring on board, or maybe anything that you pick up while out and about around the ship. Directly behind the desk unit, you're going to find the majority of your in-cabin storage in these 2 double wardrobes. We'll take a look at both of them shortly, but first, let me show you the air conditioning setup in this cabin. You can make your room warmer or cooler by simply sliding the dial underneath this unit. I found the air conditioning on this ship in general to be really quite quiet, so I would have no issues sleeping through that whatsoever. Let's now look in the first of the two double wardrobes. In here, you'll find some open storage at the top. You've then got some hanging space. You'll also find your laundry bag here. You've then got your pool towels or your beach towels, your safe, your life jackets, and some drawers down at the bottom. If we now move across and look at the second double wardrobe, you'll find that there is yet more storage in here. Inside this cupboard, you're going to find more open storage at the top, more hanging space, and then towards the bottom, you'll find your kettle and your tea and coffee making facilities. I really do like the fact that on a Fred Olsen Cruise Line's ship, every cabin will come with a kettle and it will come with basic tea and coffee items. If you'd like to pick up any flavoured teas or any different milks, for example, then you can do that from places like the Thistle restaurant, which is the onboard buffet, and you can then bring it back down to your cabin. On the back of the door, you'll find the usual information you'll need to look at when you board the ship. For example, where is your muster station? And this here is how you can communicate with your cabin attendant to let them know either when you're in the room and don't wish to be disturbed, or when you're out and about and you're happy for your room to be refreshed. You then got your key card holder as you come in, so always remember to put your key card into that holder in order to activate all of the lighting in the cabin. And now let's take a look at the bathroom. I was surprised by this bathroom. You'll see why in a second when we turn to the left. On the far wall, you've got a large mirror directly above the sink. You've then got your toilet on the right-hand side, and you've got some storage directly under the sink and beside the toilet. On the right, you've got some more storage, but this is all open. That's all got guardrails on the front, so if the ship were to be moving throughout the day or throughout the evening, your stuff isn't going to leave that shelf at any point. Let me show you inside this cupboard. I always like closed storage in a bathroom, just so that I don't have to look at my toiletries all the way throughout the cruise. On the right-hand side of the sink up here, you're going to find, yes, that's me, a relatively old hairdryer. I did find it interesting to see this hairdryer versus the one that's offered in the cabin. I guess if there's two of you in here, you may also need this one, but the one in the cabin is a much better appliance, so you'll be able to dry your hair much quicker. Over here, you've got a bathtub, which I really thought was a plus point of this cabin. I love the luxury of being able to have a bath when I cruise. You've got a detachable shower head up here, and you've also got a retractable washing line. So if you would like to use things like the swimming pools while you're on board, you can hang your bathing suit up in here, no problem. Or maybe you'd like to do some washing in here. Not a problem to get that dried. The door can be propped open using this magnet system on the back. And now, let's head out and have one final look at this cabin. Now, I did mention this cabin comes as a restricted view cabin. Let me now show you what that view looks like, because that's really, really important, and it could either make or break this cabin for some people. Personally, I think it's got a great view. You can see plenty of the ocean, and it will be good to save a little bit of money by booking the restricted option. However, I know that this might be too much of an obstruction for some people. Let me know in the comments what you think. Would you book to stay in this cabin, or would you rather cruise elsewhere on the ship? If you've enjoyed this video today, and if you found it useful, I would really enjoy it if you would think about supporting my channel by clicking both the thumbs up and the subscribe buttons. If you did enjoy this one, and you'd like to see so much more from onboard Balmoral, why not join me over in this video? Here, I take you on a full, detailed ship tour of Balmoral, covering every single venue on board. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.